Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Jinger Duggar shares shocking relationship with production crew. Counting on alum Jinger Duggar Vuolo is back with new updates with her husband Jeremy. The married couple recently returned to their podcast. Their comeback was also extra special, as it was also the day they announced their relocation. The two moved into a new house, though they're still living in Los Angeles. They've already released several podcast episodes, but what caught the attention of many was Jinger's revelation about her relationship with the production crew. Keep reading to see her statements. Counting on Jinger Duggar and Jeremy Vuolo's move. Last month, Jinger and Jeremy took to YouTube to share their first podcast episode after years of hiatus. At the same time, the Counting on alums revealed that they've relocated. Jinger and Jeremy are now living in a house given to them by the Masters University and Seminary, where Jeremy works as a pastor. This also confirms the speculations about the sudden listing of the married couple's land home for $899,999. But some people were shocked after it was reported that they sold it lower than the asking price, seemingly showing that they're struggling financially. Jinger shares shocking relationship with production crew. In an Instagram post, Jinger shared a clip from their latest podcast episode in which she talks about her relationship with the show's production crew. According to the Counting on alum, they had a strong relationship with almost everyone on the team, adding that some of them stayed for 10 years and have become family to them. Jinger Duggar Vuolo also seems sad knowing that they may never have a project again after her brother Josh's CSAM arrest. I loved your show then, watched every season until it all ended. Love following you now even more. What a strong woman. It takes a lot of strength to talk about her experience and what she went through in that upbringing and setting of always being on camera. All things aside, I truly missed this show. Jim was my favorite also. Counting on Jinger Duggar shares traumatic experience during filming. Aside from the production crew, Jinger also talked about one of the most terrifying moments she had during the show. According to the Counting on alum, they were filming a horseback riding episode when she was 12. She was able to ride one, but she was left traumatized when the horse began to panic after crossing a small body of water. Jinger Duggar Vuolo added that her horse bucked 3 times, but she felt like it was forever. She ended up being scared of riding horses since the incident. Jinger Duggar Vuolo, one of the most outspoken and independent members of the famous Duggar family, has always been a bit different from her siblings. While her life in the spotlight started like many of the other Duggar children, starring in the family's reality shows 19 Kids and Counting and later Counting On, Jinger's recent revelations about her relationship with the show's production crew have sparked curiosity and raised eyebrows. In a candid interview, Jinger opened up about her complex relationship with the production crew behind the hit reality TV series. While fans of the show might assume that the Duggars and the crew enjoyed a friendly familial bond, Jinger's accounts reveal a more nuanced reality. In fact, her interactions with the crew played a much more significant role in shaping her worldview and personal growth than many had imagined. A unique bond with the crew. From a young age, Jinger's life was dictated by the strict rules and traditions her parents, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, enforced. The Duggars lived by a conservative Christian belief system, which emphasized modesty, traditional gender roles, and unwavering loyalty to family. But as the camera crew became an ever-present fixture in their lives, Jinger found herself forging unexpected connections with the people behind the lenses. She revealed that while the family's strict lifestyle often meant that she and her siblings were sheltered from the outside world, the production crew became an unintentional window into a different reality. They were there all the time, and I think, without realizing it, I started learning about life beyond our little bubble through them, Jinger said. It was small things at first, how they talked, how they dressed, the jokes they made. It was different from everything I had known, and it made me curious. Jinger's natural curiosity wasn't always welcomed in her home. She was often reminded to stay on the path laid out by her parents and to avoid the temptations of the secular world. However, the more time she spent around the crew, the more she began to question her upbringing. They never pushed me to think differently, she clarified. But just seeing how they lived and the freedom they had, It made me wonder about my own choices and beliefs. Behind the scenes, a different world. Jinger also spoke about how, over the years, she developed friendships with several crew members. While her siblings may have kept more distance, Jinger found herself drawn to the production staff's different perspectives on life, work, and faith. I remember there was one cameraman in particular who I would talk to a lot during breaks, she shared. He had traveled the world, seen so many places, met so many people. It made me realize how small my world had been up until that point. As Jinger grew older, she began to confide in certain crew members. While her family had strict views on topics like dating and courtship, she found that the crew had a more open-minded perspective. There were times when I was unsure about the path I was on, Jinger admitted. I'd ask the crew questions about relationships, about life outside the church. They never judged me, and that was something I really valued. However, this growing bond with the production crew wasn't without its challenges. Jinger's parents, particularly her father Jim Bob, were always wary of outside influences. According to Jinger, there were moments when her father became concerned about her interactions with the crew, especially as she began to express more independence. He didn't want us to be too friendly with them, Jinger explained. He saw them as part of the job, not as people we should be looking to for advice or guidance. Quiet rebellion. For Jinger, her relationship with the production crew became a quiet form of rebellion. While she never outright defied her parents during the filming of the show, her conversations with the crew planted seeds of doubt and independence that would later blossom in her adult life. I think, in some ways, the crew helped me realize that it was okay to ask questions. Jinger reflected. They didn't have the same beliefs as us, but they were good people, and that really made me rethink the idea that the world outside our faith was something to fear. Jinger's eventual move to Los Angeles with her husband Jeremy Vuolo was seen by many as a dramatic departure from her family's way of life. But according to Jinger, her journey toward independence had begun long before she left Arkansas. The crew definitely played a role in that, she admitted. I think without those years of interacting with people who were different from us, I might have stayed in that same mindset forever. One of the most surprising aspects of Jinger's revelations was her acknowledgement that the crew often saw sides of the Duggar family that the public never did. We had our rules and our image to uphold, but the crew saw everything, she said. They saw the disagreements, the tensions, the struggles. They were there when the cameras weren't rolling, and in some ways, they knew us better than a lot of people. Life after reality TV. Now that she's no longer a regular on reality TV, Jinger's life has taken a different direction. She's become more vocal about her personal beliefs, many of which diverge significantly from those of her family. She's also distanced herself from the strict teachings of her childhood, particularly those of the controversial Institute in Basic Life Principles, IBLP, which her parents have long supported. Jinger credits much of her personal growth to the years she spent on camera and the crew that surrounded her. In some ways, they were like my teachers, she said. They didn't realize it, and I didn't realize it at the time, but just by being around them, I started to see the world in a new light. Looking back, Jinger is grateful for the experiences that shaped her, both good and bad. I don't regret growing up in the family I did, and I'm thankful for the opportunities we had because of the show, she said. But I'm also thankful for the people who came into my life because of it, even if they weren't part of our world. They helped me become who I am today.